Curtailing cancer at home. That sounds like a huge medical issue, doesn't it? When in actuality, most cancers can be decreased by lifestyle changes and also by understanding how cancer starts. There's a lot of things in the environment that we know cause cancer and can be very relevant to what we're doing at home. So let's take a look at some things, understanding the development of cancer and how and why that happens. Many cancers are overdiagnosed. And the reason I'm bringing this point up is because we become so cancer phobic that we look for the beginning of the first signs of a little cancer, and then we immediately jump to, getting surgery, getting chemotherapy, or making sure that it hasn't spread through the whole body. And so we take many, many different avenues to try to stamp that cancer out. And the best way to get the beginning of cancer, if you fear it, you're afraid that it's starting in your body, there's so many things you can do to help stave that cancer from growing. And that's what we're going to really talk about and focus on, as well as what about cancer that's already established in the body. So we have some really good thoughts on what can transpire in terms of the cancers in the body and how we can prevent those. Or you can even go the next round and get a sigmoidoscopic examination or a barium enema or a CT colonoscopy. Now these are a lot of tests that we know, will help focus in on what is really wrong with the bowel if you have something going on. But, above and beyond that, it's better to try to figure out how to prevent it so you don't have to go through these tests. But I do sometimes recommend that people know exactly what they're dealing with, what the risks are, what the chances of, how long, in normal medical terms, how long does this person have, and then what can we do in a natural setting to help curtail that cancer. This is one of the worst products out there besides cigarette smoking. Look at that charcoal broiled steak. When you charcoal broil a steak, what does it have in it that drips down into the coals? It has fat that drips down into the coals. And what comes back up and coats the underneath of that charcoal? Smoke, and it has benzopyrene in it. Benzopyrene is a very toxic benzene ring formula that is found in cigarette smoke, but it's also found in charcoal boiled steak and may cause and can cause cancer. What is FIP? FIP is another one, sort of like it's a benzopyrene type thing. It's a heterocyclic amine. It's not actually benzopyrene, but it's similar to that. FIP and other heterocyclic amines form when animal muscle is cooked at high temperatures. Longer cooking times and hotter temperatures produce more heterocyclic amines, which make grilling, pan frying, and oven broiling particularly dangerous cooking methods. Fried chicken, which contains high levels of saturated fat, is also unhealthful. So there you go. Even if you're frying your chicken instead of charcoal boiling it, even though you may not have that smoke coming back up on top of the chicken or on top of the steak, you still are heating up the fat and changing the way the pyrene, the benzopyrene is acting and make it into a dangerous heterocyclic amine called FIP. You put them on a 20% animal protein diet. All of those rats, according to T. Colin Campbell's study in America there at the Cornell University, he found that 100% of those predisposed rats got cancer. But if you look at the next, on a 5% animal fat diet, 0 out of 20 got those cancers.
So what I'd like you to do is to stir that in together. You want to stir the dry ingredients together. Let's pretend we're making bread or dough. So you usually want to have your dry ingredients mixed together. Of course, before you put this on, you want to take off the first plastic. Okay, you want to help me hold this? Okay, the charcoal must go on the body part. Okay, you don't want to have a plastic here. We only did the plastic to get it to keep your rolling pin clean. But this is what it is. Now, this is a little kind of moist, as you can see. It can be a little drier than this, but that's okay, as long as it's not falling apart. You don't want...
Just another question. For people that do have cancer, is it advisable, because you hear a lot of different stories and a lot of different information out there. Now, I've heard that people with cancer shouldn't have any glucose or sugars. Well, that must include fruits and is that right, or?
Go ahead.
Very good question.
Yes.
You would-
I think that some cells, some cancer cell lines may be more sensitive to, in particular, to high carbohydrate diets. But on the other hand, carbohydrates should be the kind of the anchor to all of our diets. So if you eliminate the refined carbohydrates, the refined sugars, and depending on the cancer type, you may want to even go more on the vegetable and less on the fruit end.